joining Have Tea with B. Today we are having tea with Eric Holmes.
I appreciate you having me.
And I'm so glad you could make it. Eric was supposed to be here for the last episode we did about dating in your 30s, but he got a little sick and he had to miss that one. But I was like, I gotta bring him on because Eric is a character, y'all.
Oh, we in there now. we about to have some fun.
Yeah, definitely. So today we're gonna kind of talk about balance, but first, I just want to make sure y'all make sure y'all follow me. Have Tea with Me, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube as well. Subscribe to my channel. And I'm gonna let Eric kind of introduce himself first before I just really dive into like the questions and stuff I have for him.
All right, I can't wait because I'm my curiosity level is like on a whole nother level. But yes, so my name is Eric Holmes. I'm owner of a business called Inspired. So we are a cigar lounge and restaurant. Well, upcoming cigar lounge and restaurant. So in the meantime, we've been throwing a lot of events, wine events, cigar events, different parent events, stuff like that. So if you don't already follow me on social media, please follow me at Eric Holmes. I am on every social media platform you can think of. And yeah, and we got a few real big events coming up. I'm excited about those. What else we need to know about me? Where I'm from?
I mean, whatever you want to tell
I'm
us.
I'm originally from Savannah. I've been living in the Macon area about 8 years. It's been cool. It's been fun. It's not really too different from home, but I'm just happy to be away for a little while. So we'll see what happens in the future as far as me staying here.
So what really brought you here? Because like a lot of people, now I'm from Macon, of course. I was born here, lived here most of my life, except for when I was, I think it was like 14 or 15. I lived in DeKalb County. I moved to DeKalb for like 6-7 years, and then I came back here. And a lot of people try to put Macon down, but we have so much. We have so much going on here. We have really rich history. And Macon is I can't think of the right word right now, but it is like a really large location that hosts a lot of creatives.
Yep.
You have a lot of, it's so much talent here.
Yep.
So much talent.
Yep.
So what really just made you be like, out of all the places you can move to, you came to Macon?
Listen, I get asked that all the time too. So originally, I was in college, second year of college, Savannah State, and I was in school for business. And so during this time, I was working and going to school probably 5 times a day, so I've been going crazy. And I got a call from CSX, which is the railroad. All right, so that was based in Atlanta. So CSX called me. They said, hey, we want to hire you, come in for orientation and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I'm out. Because the railroad, everybody know the railroad pays good, especially for long term too. So yeah, I moved to Atlanta and got with the railroad. Been there for a little bit, and then they got this big thing with seniority. So we had a big furlough. So a lot of people got laid off. I had no seniority, so I have no call. So it's like, hey, we gotta let you go. So it's like, there's nothing I could do. So I had a choice. It was either go back home to Savannah or find some way either close, or what I really want to move to is Charlotte, because I really love Charlotte.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I have some family that stays in Warner Robins, so that's what I moved at first. I was like, So my cousin gave me a chance. He was like, hey man, if you wanna move up here, man, you can stay with me as long as you need to. I was like, just give me a month and then I'll be at your house. It's whatever. So that's what happened. So moved to Warner Robins, and then moved up to Macon, and hey, I've been here ever since.
Okay.
So it's a little wild though, but it's not too far from. And another reason too, it's not too far from Macon. I mean, from Atlanta, and not too far from home, Savannah.
It's
so
not.
I'm right in the middle. So
yeah, you are in the middle. You're in the middle, definitely. And it's nothing like being able to go home when you feel like it, and you won't be too tired or nothing like that as well. And then also to go up to Party Central in Atlanta.
yeah, because I used to listen.
Right,
it was to a point people thought I lived there. I've been up there so much, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. It was wild. I had certain places I go. People knew my first name basis. Like you really thought I was like big time up there, as much as I went to these places. And people like, who this guy is? So it's been bad. So I slowed down a little bit though. I haven't been up there as much as I used to, but it's all good. It's just a phase.
I got you. So, as I mentioned, today we're going to talk about just balance in life. So, I chose Eric to come on for this episode because I do know a little bit about him. I just met him. I actually met him. It was my birthday this year.
Yep.
And my friend Trina invited him out. She was like, one of my friends coming or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And it was just like, he fit right on in. I was talking about he all in the picture and everything that the group picture that we took for my birthday. So he fit right in.
Yeah.
But I know that Eric is, he's an entrepreneur, but he's also someone else's employee as well, just like me. So that's why I asked him to come on about this. And then also I know he really tries to maintain a personal life also.
Yes.
Which is difficult sometimes.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to kind of talk about today.
Okay.
So first, I'm just going to I want to know like your thoughts on how you feel like about maintaining it all. Like how do you balance it all? How do you keep it separate?
That's a good question, actually. So I think the balance really comes from, well, first you have to know what you really want to do. Okay, like, and then what I tell people when they get ready to start a business or whatever it is they're trying to venture off to, if that's the thing you want to do, you stick to that one. Don't try to mix up too many different things in one. You get kind of confused, and that's when the unbalance starts. So one, I would say that make sure whatever you're getting into, that's what you want to do for the long term. And not worry too much about the end game. You know, enjoy the process. When the process is gonna be good, bad, make you want to quit sometimes.
No, definitely.
It's a wild ball game. But I think as far as like trying to separate everything, it's one of the things you have to work at. Just like playing sports and practicing. You know, it's like when you start with something that you really don't know about, you got to just keep repetition, just keep doing this kind of stuff that that you feel like you need to get better at, whether it's just in life skills or business. But you have to like separate two from making it personal, because when people say when it's business not personal, you tend to take it personal no matter what. If somebody turn you down, stuff like. So the balance thing is definitely gonna take some time, but I would tell you that that whatever you're trying to do, like just stick with it and not try to have too many distractions going on. And that'd be one of the things that'll help the balance part, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely with the distractions
Yeah.
part. Because sometimes, I mean, of course, we all know things happen in life that are unplanned. So you already have things that are planned that kind of get in the way sometimes, and then unplanned things happen just out of the blue. So you have to try to keep things clear and in order to kind of help you with balance. I know you follow me on social media, so I'm a big advocate for mental health as well, and just like healing and everything as well. So how do you feel like your mental health comes into play with maintaining all of that?
Mental health is definitely going to be at the top of the list, especially like emotionally when you're dealing with people that are close to you, and also in the business side too as well. Because sometimes, like when I was talking about those distractions, that when it comes to personal, like as far as family, friends, stuff like that, we tend to bring those emotions into the business side. And then what happens with that is that's when we talk about the unbalance happens. But the mental health is, the first thing is being self-aware of like who you are.
Definitely.
You have to be self-aware of who you are and understand that your mental health is the number one, and that if you have to reach out to a therapist or anybody that you seek value from, go to that. Do whatever it is that's going to keep you focused and not worry about the things that you're trying to get to, because those are going to happen, but you have to make sure that you are focused and you have to make sure that you are in the well-balanced place in order to do these things.
Definitely. I agree with all of that, because if your mental health is not like a priority, things are going to crumble.
Yeah, and like I said, and with business, like you're going to get it's a lot of emotions in that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
Like, especially like when you starting off and you use your own money for businesses, and that right there could cause a breakdown too as well. Because sometimes you find yourself using too much of your personal money, whatever that, or personal finances, and you find yourself like, oh, I got rent, I got this, and you forget about it. So you're so caught up in that process, and yeah, and that's when you gotta be strong. Like that's when you really figure out who you are. Like who are you when times get that rough? Like, and that's when really the test for mental health really come in. It's like this is where you figure out who you really are in those adversities.
I definitely agree. I agree with all that. Like with me, I have a baking business, so I deal with people constantly. And at first, like I've been baking like pretty much my whole life. You know, the whole story about having an easy bake oven, I go all the way back then. That's when I've discovered I really had a passion for baking. Like me and my sister, you know, we're 2 years apart, so we pretty much did everything together. When we would run out of the little easy bake oven little package,
I just love them things. Listen, I got
good.
Well, listen, I got an older sister, but like when we was little, that's what my mom bought for an easy bake oven. And I'm talking about we just baked the hell out of stuff in there. I just steal all the cakes. I'm telling you, I was that guy.
Look, the little yellow cake and the little chocolate.
I still do it now. Let me see somebody cooking easy. I'm in there.
When we would run out of the little mix, and because like we were baking like stuff in it all the time, my girl was like, I'm not buying y'all no more mix, you know, or whatever. So we was like, okay, cool. So we started up our own little recipes in the kitchen, making up little cake flour and stuff, and making our own icing.
I was the baker's man.
Yes. So I've been doing it for a very long time, but I really started getting into the decorative side of things in 2020. I was at home a lot because of COVID. So I was like, I got time on my hand. People kept asking, let me go ahead and give it a try. And I found myself at first, like with the stuff that people were requesting, it took a minute for me to really sit down and figure out how I need to charge people. Because in the beginning, you're going to lose some of your money. You just are.
Oh, listen, first of all, it's going to take a few years for you to get it. But like I said, there will be times you will lose. Like, and the hardest part is, like we say, pricing.
Yes.
Because one is figuring out your demographics, is figuring out your market, and who you're catering to.
Yes, definitely.
And so you have, and what I always tell people, like people will spend money on what they want to spend money on.
Very true.
And when it comes to like your products, like let's say if you have something like amazing, like a cake or something that nobody haven't seen before, and you're like, well, I could charge this, but they'll feel like your price is too much, but then go buy like Patti LaBelle cake for $200 more because it's Patti LaBelle. You know what I mean? So like a lot of people are caught on brands like that too. So that's why it's good to grow brands too. But also you just gotta have that support, and then and then keep marketing yourself when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you have to keep marketing yourself, and you have to spend money on that.
Like relentlessly.
Yeah, all the time. I'm always looking for something to help me stand out a little bit more. And if I weigh out my pros and cons, if I can take this loss, is it gonna hurt too much or whatever? But overall, I would say everything I lost in the beginning, I've gained back. With just over time, you got to keep working it.
I call it tasting. So you have to go through all these tasting process. Like when you're in the business, like you just gotta do stuff. Just do it, see what works, because it's not up to you to figure out what's gonna work or not. It's up to your consumer.
That's true.
They're gonna tell you what works and don't work.
Yes.
So I tell anybody, like, don't worry about what kind of feedback you're getting or how much stuff you're putting out. Like, your consumer will tell you exactly if it's working or not, and then also if you're promoting enough or not.
Oh, definitely.
And if you're on the right platforms too. So, like I tell anybody, like I know a lot of people use Facebook, but use other platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Use all of them. And that's what I do. And I post when I started, I probably post literally I did 75 posts a day per social platform. And so like I went relentless, and I had this one person that actually called me on Facebook. I forgot you could call people on Facebook.
Oh, I hate when people do that. I don't like it.
And they said, man, I don't even know you, but every time I turn my phone on, I see you. I said, that's the point. So
Yes, you have to do that. You have to.
You have to. You have to.
And I know there are some people who actually they get irritated about people posting several times a day. And I'm just like, well, you don't need to be on social media because that's the purpose of it.
Yeah.
You have to post to stay relevant so people can see you, so people can see what you're doing, to want what you're doing. You know, you have to keep that going.
I'm glad you said that, because also people that's getting into the business, when they start posting, they start thinking about how other people feel about you posting as much. You got to get out that part too.
Yes.
It's like, bro, post, like, keep going, like, keep hammering it. Dude, I'll tell anybody that if you're just starting out posting, I'm going to tell you, at least do, for somebody that's just starting off, I would say at least do 7 pieces of content a day. Start off with 7. That, I feel like it's a low number. 7 pieces of content a day on each social media platform, and see how that goes. And then once you start building your rep, just put out more. And get and you gotta get creative with it too as well. But just
Yeah, you definitely do. And that's something that I'm starting to adapt to more, especially with the podcast, with trying to promote that. Because I have my baking business. That's like my main priority of what I post most of the time is baking stuff. But I'm like, okay, this is my baby too. So I got to make sure I take care of this baby and show this baby off as well. So I'm trying to make sure I keep things a little bit intriguing. So even if I don't post like just a reel from like my last episode, I'm gonna post some life quotes, some life advice or something. So it helps. And I have the amount of responses that I have been getting. I love it. Like I'm constantly getting somebody inboxing me, more than one person inboxing me multiple times a day, telling me, oh, I love what you're doing, and can you do this and do that? Like I had someone ask me if I could give them like daily affirmations. So what I did was I cleared my evening one day, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take this time and I'm gonna do this, because I was like, I don't want to send them nothing every day. You know, that I may forget. So what I did was I created a little 30-day calendar in a sense, and it has affirmations and different things that you can do for self-care on it. And I sent it to them and other people that I know, and they love it. So sometimes you got to take those sacrifices and just kind of sit down and give people what they want.
I call it hacking a culture. Really, that's what I call it, hacking, because you're actually in the business of, your business is literally to hack any culture, because it's dealing with food, where everybody has to do is eat. You know what I mean? And everybody loves sweets. A lot of people can't eat sweets, but most people eat sweets. And then you can hack any type of event, any type of, like, any setting. You can be involved in that because it involves some type of food. You know what I mean? So you in the win game. You winning.
It's a great business, the food and everything. And that kind of leads me into my next thing. So as Eric mentioned, he does like wine tasting events. I went to my first like wine tasting experience over the summer. It was my first like official wine tasting experience. I went to Chateau Elan for 2 of my friends' birthdays. They're twins, and it was an amazing experience. I learned so much that you think you know stuff about like wine and different things just from like over time. But until you actually sit somewhere where this person is like a connoisseur and they know exactly what's going on, you're gonna be like, yeah, I was doing that all wrong. Like like I've always known that you're not supposed to fill your wine glass to the top. You know, stuff like that. That's certain stuff you just know. But I didn't know about how exactly it should smell, how exactly it should look, you know, different ones and everything like that. So it was an amazing experience. So when I seen that Eric was hosting wine tasting events, I was like, oh, I gotta go. I was like, I know a little bit now, I can fit in. So I went and I loved it. So that kind of brings me to my next thing. I feel like with social media and everything now, people just kind of post whatever, which is okay to be personal and just show who you really are, you know, because sometimes, you know, you just lay your coat down, you're free. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people, they don't care about etiquette or anything anymore. So they kind of just they come off a little crazy sometimes. I'll be like, that is not cute.
Yeah, that comes from the environment they're around.
Yeah.
That definitely comes from that. And then also too is what I see a lot with social media is that people do a lot of stuff to create attention, to be like that funny person, because those people actually, believe it or not, like most people that seek attention like that has one probably absolutely nothing else going on,
True.
and they need some type of validation or or something that makes them feel whole or like I belong, something like that. So
Yeah.
it's whatever emotional thing for them that makes them feel whatever how they feel. So that's I understand that. I get that.
Yes.
But yes, a lot of people not cultured that way as far as like learn this kind of stuff, because a lot of people got more than enough time to actually learn stuff, just if they just want to do it or not. But if they don't, they play with it. And what I learned too, so I'm in a wine group too as well, and I know when I first started and I started doing random stuff like what you'll see, like, oh, why y'all doing this? This is stupid. And I used to post stuff, holding the glass wrong, stuff like that, and these people ate me alive. Like they,
I bet.
like they,
I
listen,
bet.
it's life or death.
I bet.
They some gangsters.
Yeah, that's
You know
how
what I
it
mean?
was at the wine at Chateau Elan when we went. There were some people that I guess they like frequent there. They go there all the time.
They some gangsters.
So I could see them across, from us. They talking about some of us or whatever, like how we're holding the glass
Yeah.
and all this. And I'm just like, okay, now y'all ain't got to be like that. But
And this is why I'm
I
on people
get
all the
it,
time
though.
on social media about it, because they find it funny. But it's like, yeah, he right though. It is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
But, like,
definitely.
it's just small etiquette.
And I am not a fan of cheap wine myself. I've never been a fan of cheap wine, except for I do like Duplin. I do like Duplin, just because it really get me there real quick, and it tastes okay, and it has a high percentage.
Yeah.
But Stella Rose, oh no.
Well, and that's part of a coach. Like, as far as when it comes, like I joke around about Stella Rose all the time, but Stella Rose is a real big wine company.
It is.
Like,
It's major.
Listen, I always talk mess about them. But if Stella Rose was to call me and say, "Hey, man, we want to sponsor," oh, it's the best thing in the world.
Oh, that's the only thing I'm gonna post. So
You know what I mean?
money
I
talks.
make fun of it because people's like, "Oh yeah, this will get you wherever they're trying to get to. Like this will get you lit, or like this is the best wine." I'm like, nah, like that is, it's kind of like what people call Kool-Aid, like it's real flavor, and it's part of the whole sparkling wine thing. So it's like I get it, I understand it. And then when I introduce people to like the other wines, when you go to like the Chateau, Montelena, stuff that I'm into, it's like this ain't sweet, and that's the main thing with women. Like it's got to be sweet with women. I'm like. So it's a fun process,
Yeah, I
but
can't
also
lie.
it's like
I do like sweet wine. I prefer sweet wine. I prefer anything sweet, even when it comes to like liquor. I'm not a huge fan of just like, oh yeah, let me get a Hennessy and Coke. Can I get some pineapple juice in there? Something like I need something to kind of
and I get
to fit my palate.
and I get a lot of. It's crazy because like so there's a lot of people that actually pay attention to me about what I post and what I do a whole lot than what I thought it was. And I get these inboxes, like, hey, it's my anniversary. What should I get? Like,
That's cool.
Like it'd be a lot of this going. I'm like, damn, people really pay attention to this stuff. So it's cool. So I appreciate that part. But yeah, so like I said, and then I try to teach at the same time, but some people just into, they just want to make whoever they circle is laugh, and I get that part. But I'm into like actually learn this stuff, and I just what I like to do.
Yeah, I got you. So also, with you hosting your own events, do you sometimes feel pressure sometimes to go to like other people events, even if you may not really be interested, but since they showed up for you, do you feel like you have to go for them?
No, I don't feel any pressure from it. So I'm a big supporter person. If I know I could be there, then I'm gonna go.
Yes.
And I appreciate the people that came out to my events as well, and then they had a good time, stuff like that. So, like I said, I have gratitude for that. So I appreciate the people that show support, and I don't mind showing support back, whatever that's in like sharing a post or coming to your event or telling somebody that, hey, you need to check this person out. Like I'm all for it. But nah, I don't have the pressure of going to somebody's event because they came to mine. I mean, you feel if you don't. I think if you don't make their event, you kind of in that conscience, you be like.
Yeah,
man, like,
because
my
that's how
bad.
I feel sometimes. Because I have so much to do, and then especially like on the weekends, my weekends are it's pretty much dedicated to baking and stuff because that's when people have parties and stuff.
Yeah.
So I may not can't make my friend's party because I'm working on a really large order, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do feel a little bad sometimes about it. But I will say I'm supportive as well, and I really believe that just sharing somebody posts on social media, it means so much. Like it grabs the attention of somebody you wouldn't even think, would look at it, and you just never know.
Yeah.
So if I can do that, I'm always gonna do that.
But I'm saying it's always somebody searching for a new talent or just something to do, and then once you share, it's like, oh, I've been looking for this, and it helps that person out. So you did a good deed.
Yes.
But yeah, if somebody don't mind sharing it, yeah, share it. Cause I be getting shares that I don't even know these people, and they'll share it. And girl, we gotta go to this. Boy, we gotta go to this. Like it's wild.
I have people that I really do consider Facebook friends. Like they're my friends on Facebook. Like they so supportive, and I've never met them a day in my life.
Yep.
They're always constantly sharing my posts. They're gonna, just kind of talk to me sometimes. Either they may inbox me or ask me certain things, and I'm just like, okay, this is cool. Like complete strangers, but we friends now on Facebook.
Because it makes you feel good, but also makes you feel like you know what you're doing too as well, and then it makes you want to do more.
Definitely,
You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
yeah, that's always a plus. That's on the upside there.
So we're gonna get a little personal.
Let's get it.
Since we kind of talked about the entrepreneur side of things, and we ain't go too much into like just being, working a 9 to 5, being employed by somebody else. We're gonna get to that, but just kind of maintain like personal life.
Right.
So I know you missed the last episode, and it went.
I was sure hoping I'd be ready for that. Listen, and like I got sick. Like I saw you what day was that? That Tuesday or Wednesday?
I think it was Tuesday.
I think it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. I think when I got home that night, like when you kind of feel it a little bit. I was like, okay, I don't really like this feeling, so I try to help him beat it. I was like, let me just take something, try to beat it. Then the next morning, I'm like, oh, son of a... And I felt, I was like, up. And then the headache, then the body got weak. I said, here we go.
Yeah, when I was like, yeah, he can't come because I don't want nobody to get sick.
Yeah, and then the day of, like I felt a little better, but I wasn't there. So I was like, I'm not even gonna pressure it.
And
like
we can't take that lightly. You can't take that lightly. You
Nah.
have to listen to your body. A lot of people don't listen to their body. That's another thing. A lot of people do not listen to their bodies until your body sits you down.
And that's me because I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
I'm constantly.
And it gonna bite. It will. It never fails.
And it'll get
Being
you.
a workaholic will bite you.
It'll get you.
It will bite you. You have to listen and take breaks.
Yeah, it'll get you.
It's really important. But one of the question that we talked about probably the most on the last episode was,
All right.
how do you feel about things being 50-50? Or do you even agree with it? Or, what's your outlook on it when it comes to dating?
I think, all right, so this stuff been going on for years, and I think social media is making it more popular. It's a good conversation.
It comes back in rotation.
It's like Jordans.
Yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? So
Slap a little new name on it.
yeah, we made it more interesting for the younger folks. Honestly, so how I grew up was, so I mainly grew up around my grandparents, and it was always my granddad taking care of everything. That was just the old school way.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot of stuff just based off just following, his habits, stuff like that. So as far as how I feel on 50-50, I haven't really put too much thought into like the whole 50-50 thing because I think I'm so used to handling stuff on my own. And it don't feel right when somebody else is doing half of, trying to help. I feel like they're trying to help me in a sense. And I don't feel right with that. And I don't know if that's because like, I'm so used to one, taking care of everything on my own. And then I'm also used to, which is kind of sad though, but I'm just going to say it, I'm kind of used to people like not being there.
Yeah.
So when you have that constantly happen, it's kind of like, if somebody say, hey man, I'm going to go half of this on with you, I'm like, all right, but I'm gonna take care of the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a trauma response, honestly.
Because I always got the backlash. Well, not really backlash, but it's always something like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, but
yeah."
And I got that so much. Then it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna take care of it.
I can relate
Because I understand people. Things happen, and things happen with me. When I said I'm gonna help this person with something, then something came up like, my bad,
right?
Dog. Like, and then that feeling was like, ooh, that ain't felt right to me. And me, my conscience is like, sometimes I can't sleep off it. Like I try to go to sleep, wake up maybe 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, damn, big dog, like you kind of messed that one up. You should have, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you could have did this, maybe you could have did that. But and they understand. But I'm not really, I guess, into the whole 50-50 thing. Like I'm just gonna take care of it, and then the person that I'm with at that time, or hopefully long term, yeah.
Don't talk about that.
But I'm hoping like if I just started being a person that receives. I just started maybe like 2 years ago. When people want to buy stuff from me, I always been like, nah, I don't do it.
It's hard. It's hard when you're not used to it.
Because now I'm like, I done it so much so I can see the effect on them, and it's kind of like an insult. So I'm like, you know what, just let them do it.
Yeah.
Because they want to feel good about it. Like, just let them do it and then be done with it and move on. So I just let people do it. Hey, I want to buy you something? Cool. Hey, I want to help you with something? All right, cool. And I had to be okay with that too.
Yeah, you do.
But I also gotta be careful with it because there's a lot of people too that will do things for because they're trying to get something back from like they have intentions on like, oh, if I give him this, or he gonna get me this. You know what I mean? So it's like I come from a genuine place. So I try to, when I'm doing something for you, I don't want nothing back.
I agree. I feel the same way. Everything that I do from the saying, the kindness of my heart. Honestly, anything I do from the kindness of my heart. Now sometimes there have been moments where I have overextended myself.
Oh yeah.
Where it makes me be in an uncomfortable place. And that's something that I had to scale back on. But pretty much everything that I do, if I'm offering to do something, it's because I really genuinely care and I want to help you. And I want to see you be okay. I want to see things be successful for you. So, and a lot of it comes from how I grew up. I mean, I grew up in love, surrounded by love as a child. But, as I mentioned before, my teenage years was not filled with love. Yeah. My grandmother passed away and I was in a whole nother environment. Yeah. And I had to be independent. Yep. Me and my we had to be grown women at the age of 13, 15. So I don't look for people to offer things to me or do things for me. So sometimes I don't know how to take it either. So I'll just be like, now I got it. But I'm trying now to be like, okay, let me let them help me.
You just gotta learn to be okay with certain stuff. You just gotta learn to be okay with it.
Yeah, definitely. But with the whole, I don't even think I gave my perspective on the 50-50 thing from the last episode. I just let them talk because they kind of went in.
So what's yours?
Okay. So what my perspective is, I would prefer to be whoever I end up with. I would prefer for them to take care of the larger things financially. Now 50-50 goes beyond financial, of course. Right. But when it comes to financial, I would like for them to take care of the larger bills. Right. Like mortgage, all that kind of stuff or whatever. Right. And I'd say just take care of the house, I make sure you got some clothes and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you got food, all that. Now, if I work full-time, just like you work full-time, we're going to have to share this cooking thing and stuff like that. Yeah. Because unless I'm just gonna be at the house. If I'm at the house and you working and you paying everything, I'm gonna make sure you got your 3 meals, 3 snacks a day, all that. Yeah. But if I'm working too, you gonna have to step in. Yeah, but
that's how I am when I'm when I'm actually in a relationship. That's how I am though. Even when I'm coming home from like long day of work and I'm exhausted because working 10, 12 hours a day, then doing your own business and come with creatives and all that kind of stuff, and then coming home to deal with a whole different personality is already a lot. Then it's like, okay, there's no food. It's like, okay, it's my night to cook, huh? All right. And then like just having that engine, like sometimes depending on who you with, sometimes they understand their stuff, but say, all right, I got this. You can just take a shower.
And that's okay sometimes if it does happen like that. You do have to be understanding with whoever you're with. Take a look at them. Sometimes, some days you just, your mental is going to be a little down and you need that other person to kind of step up and kind of help a little bit more. So that's when, you put aside the whole 50-50 thing and sometimes you got to do 80-20.
Yeah, you got to get somebody that's with it because this whole new generation stuff is like...
It's crazy.
It's hell. And they lazy.
It's lazy as hell.
It's so lazy.
Yes.
And it's almost like they expect everything from the opposite. Like it's like, bro, what are you gonna do? Like absolutely nothing. And you follow right. And the thing is, a lot of people now, from what I notice, is that so based on like growing up, how they being raised, they're letting social media stuff and also like celebrity lifestyle raise them in a way, and they just don't know. So they feel like this is what's supposed to be. So I understand it because that's all you see, and these people getting all this attention, and that's what you want because you feel like that's the way of like living life. So I understand that. I get that, but it's gonna hurt them in the long game.
Yes.
It's gonna hurt them, and it's like it's so lazy. Like it's always they expecting something, nothing to give back.
And with that, I feel like I didn't ask, how old are you?
34.
34. Okay, so I'm 33. So we were around during a time where social media was not it. Like it didn't exist really. And we were the ones who kind of got into social media. Like
Right.
we were the start of it.
Right.
So we know how things were before social media and how things are now. And my perspective when it comes to especially dating, man, yeah, they be on some other stuff.
But listen.
And I know it, like it's from the influence of, just seeing other people on social media and celebrity stuff. Like, I'm just like, first of all, sir, you're not a celebrity, so you can't do what Offset do.
Yeah.
You can't do what Drake do. You can't do that. No, that's not going to work for you.
Yeah. See, it brings me to this though. This is what it brings me to, because this is what when these platforms goes away, then what's gonna happen? Because they're gonna go away. But
Definitely.
But a lot of people they don't understand. They don't pay attention. They feel like this is a forever thing. Like every great business that been around went away. Like it's.
Let's talk about MySpace. MySpace used to be it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
And
so
look, it's
my thing
gone.
is what's gonna happen when you don't have these platforms to
Yes.
raise you? Then what? Now this caused depression. This caused a lot of suicidal. This caused for like a lot of entitlement. And I don't think these people actually understand that. Like, because I've been around women that they live on social, right? And I'm the type of person, I'm like, if we out in the setting, I don't want you on your phone. I'm not gonna be on mine. We're gonna keep this respectful.
You shouldn't be.
And outside of who they are on social media, this is not this person. And in person, it's like a whole different person. I'm like, God, you born. Like, you ain't got nothing to talk about. Like,
Right.
because I ain't gonna lie. Anybody that knows me personally, I have no problem kicking somebody out. And I've
You
done.
look like it. You
and
look like you ain't got no problem
Listen,
with it.
I don't, because I got comfortable with that at an early age. Because I know people that like keep trying. They keep trying. So it's like, hey, big dog, look, I'm gonna call you an Uber though, but I appreciate you coming out though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate it. I appreciate the time, but this ain't it. Because like, and I hate, and what I noticed too, people with no conversation, they talk about the same stuff. Repeat like you got a song
Over and
on, like you
over
got a
again.
song on replay. It's like, bro, we just talked about that. It's got to be something else. So what you want to do with yourself? I don't know. All right, well, what you into? I don't know. I really just like chilling out. No, what are you into? Like,
Right.
It's no person.
like,
It's no
on
person.
my
There's no
end,
personality.
with being, a woman, it really irks me when it comes to a man so-called trying to pursue me, but he doesn't ask me anything about myself. Like, he doesn't really try to get to know me. It's always just they either talk about themselves repeatedly or
You know what's
just
funny?
being, they just jump to sexual stuff. And I don't like that. I'm just like, okay, let me show that I'm interested in you in that type of way first before you just be like, oh, let me see this. Let me send me this type of picture. Oh no, like let me show that interest first.
I have a lot of female friends that actually reach out to me about a dude that they date, and it's like, what do I need to expect? So I had to give them advice based on guys. So I had to let go some secrets. I'm like, did he ask you how your day was? Like, what is he talking about?
And that matters. It goes a long way.
And it does matter. I said, and I was telling one of my friends recently, I was like, she was like, yeah, I just talked to this guy. He got this going on. I said, that's fine. That's cool. I said, but what y'all talk about? And she's like, oh, yeah, When she said, yeah, I was like, is he the guy that just talk about work? She's like, yeah. I said, outside of that, what you talk about? Oh, no, we just be I said, y'all don't be talking about shit.
Basically.
I said, because what happens is if you meet a guy that's 100% into work, like, depending on what type of job you have, I said, that's all he has to talk. That's all he has to offer because that's all he knows. I said, so you're not going to get this other, you're getting 20 right now, not the 80.
Yes.
And I talk about 80-20 rule a lot.
Okay, Steve Harvey.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That might be my big brother. But I'm just saying, like, so it's like, you getting 20 right now. So, but when y'all go out and have these conversations and he's not at work, like, is it a genuine conversation? Like, is he really trying to figure out how are you? Like, how's your day been? Is there something that he can help you with? Like, stuff like that. And people don't ask them questions no more.
They don't. It's so many people. They feel like it doesn't matter. Like, they feel, a lot of people let sex and just being seen on social media take priority over being just really human.
And I be around a lot of girls, and in my mind, I'm like, I don't even want to, like, and I, listen, most of my female friends are absolutely gorgeous, okay?
They are.
And most of them, actually, I don't even think about like sex now, cause like, and I could deal with a chick on like a homeboy level. Like, I'm not pressured for that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm just not. I don't know why I don't know. It just.
I mean, that's a good thing.
It is. I mean, it is a good thing. It is a good thing. So it's like, and everybody thinks whoever I'm posting on social is like, oh, you with her? That's she beautiful. I'm like, no, we ain't got to be together. Like, that's my dog. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
And
right.
but you have to have those relationships and have that respect level.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's a thing that a lot of people respect does not exist. Being respectful, being considerate, it just, I don't know what happened. I feel like when I first started dating as a teenager, it was there.
Yep.
But it's like now where I'm in my early 30s, it's just like, where the fuck did it go? Like, what happened to you? Where's the disconnect coming from?
Disconnects too. With most guys too, like the disconnect sometimes happen after sex.
Yeah.
I don't know if
a
lot of women noticed. So everything is always great in the beginning. I call it taking them on the magic carpet ride. And you know, everything is lovely, and then the sex coming. After that, it's turn to Casper.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
definitely.
oh, you don't talk as much. Like, what are we doing?
Right, I haven't heard from you like all day. What's going on?
This is why I let a lot of females, like, if I'm not gonna do that, I let them know in the beginning, like, look, bit dog. Hey, look, this is what it's gonna be.
And that's a good thing to let somebody know in the beginning.
Yeah,
definitely.
Someone will understand that.
And
they still think
that kind of goes into this whole other thing that I've seen somebody make a meme about it on social media.
All right.
They was like, they tired of these 2-week relationships, like where you may not even make it to sex. I mean,
it's expectations.
I don't care if you have sex on the first day. If you don't, it's your business. You do what you do. But I have met several people where like they show like major interest those first couple weeks, and then it just fall off. And I'm just like,
because it's expectations. It's like this is all right. So my secret is that I don't go into anything with expectations. Like, I don't want nothing.
And that's something I need to adapt to. I'm not big on that right now.
Yeah, because my thing is once you go and have these expectations of these people and they don't give you exactly what you want at the time you may want it, or like in a certain way you may want it, then automatically you like either turned off, or in your mind's like, oh no, because like I thought this gonna happen and it didn't. You know what I'm saying? So once you take the expectations out of it and just let things go naturally like the way they're supposed to, then it's gonna go exactly how it's supposed to. You cannot think that because you're out with somebody that this is it.
Right. You're
this is not it.
You're definitely right about that. You're right about that.
So I had to turn into that guy because I was the type that if I meet a pretty chick, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is, you know what I'm saying? I was that guy. Like, I used to be a guy. Listen, dog. Like, especially in my 20s, like I felt like if I had a pretty girl and she had somewhat conversation, like this is gonna be my girl, and I'm whipped. I'm doing everything.
Not whipped.
I was whipped. And but yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So when you get so many disappointments, you have to adapt and like, okay, maybe if I go on this without expectation, it won't hurt as much. Because if something happened, cool, then you just move on to the next. So it's like, and I do the same thing with business too. I don't think too high, too low. So like, let's say, and I tell people this all the time, it's like, if somebody come to me and say, hey man, congratulations, I appreciate what you're doing, then I'm like, thank you. It's at that level. Somebody say, hey, man, that shit horrible, I hate it, I appreciate you, everything's there. I keep my mind at a level.
You have to.
I don't think too high, I don't think too low. I just keep it right there, and I try to stay focused.
Yeah, because everybody's not going to like what you're doing. And you have to be okay with it, because they just may not be your audience. They just might be your target audience or your customer.
You cannot impress everyone.
You can't.
the biggest thing on the business side too as well, because I know we talk a lot about business, is that it's not about how many people you attract, it's about attracting the right people.
I like that. That's very true, and that's what I kind of that's my big thing. I don't try to appeal to everybody. It's just like I've had some people that be like, oh, I don't like the way you make this. I don't like the recipe or whatever. Okay, cool, but this is my number one seller, so obviously other people like it. So I don't let that bother me. I just be like, oh, okay, well, I hope you find what you're looking for with somebody else.
The hardest thing is telling that person that's down is thank you, I appreciate you.
Yes.
That's the hardest thing, because I do that a lot. Like, I appreciate you for saying this, and then but somebody else will come and defend it. So it's like, I got people that got my back and I don't even know.
Yes.
So it's like, cool, I appreciate you. It's horrible, I appreciate you, man. Maybe I'll do better. Let me know. You tell me what you feel like what should work, and then they got nothing for you though.
Yeah.
So now you just hate them.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people that they be hating.
I know. I got close. I really got close people that be hating.
Oh, all the time. Those are the worst ones. The ones close to you. That's why the whole saying to keep your enemies close. But you don't even have to keep your enemies close. They already close. Most of them, I spoke about it before. I have several people that I used to consider to be my friends, really close friends. So unsupportive. Or they only support me when it's benefiting them. Things like that.
When they sing.
How?
When they get seen.
Oh, yeah. When they get seen, they
finna
get seen, they finna get some attention. That's when they want to show up and support or whatever. And I've learned, and I would say this past year was really the biggest revelation for me when it came to that, where I really just had to cut people off. I can't talk to them no more.
It's gonna be a long game with that though. That's a long-term game. It's gonna be more of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, we'll get just a little kind of fun or whatever. So,
right.
I don't know. There are a lot of people, they don't travel much. Do you travel?
All right, so when I tell you I am a workaholic, it is bad. People try to make me.
So you go to work even if you don't feel good?
Yeah. The only
I used to be like that.
The only time that I don't really make it work if I can't walk as I want to walk, then it's like all right, this is like all right, big dog, just hang it up. But if I can move, if I got a headache, but if I can move, I'm going. If I'm getting ready throwing up, whatever, but I can move, then I'm working.
Oh, I used to be like that, but I'm not anymore.
But I get that from my granddad though.
I get it, and I
don't know when to stop. And then Trina yell at me to this day. She's like, "Bruh, sit down."
I have to yell at Trina.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta do that too sometimes with her. But it's like, I just don't know when to stop or sit down.
I understand. I used to be that person. Sometimes I still am. It's just like I said, on the weekend. My weekends are pretty much dedicated to baking. So, say for instance, somebody having a party on Saturday, they may hit me up Thursday.
Right.
And they be like, I'm so sorry. This is a late message, but I want to know if you can fit me in for this. Most of the time, I'm going to try to fit them in. Mm-hmm. And I pay for it. I pay for it over the weekend. I'm a zombie on the weekends most of the time. Mm. If you see me out, most of the time I'm zoned out. I'm not even really paying attention to what's going on because I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy. People don't really understand everything that goes into making just one decorative cake. When most of the weekends I got to do 4 or 5. Plus other treats and stuff like that. They don't understand the process. You got to let stuff sit in the fridge for a long time. Yep. You got to make this. You got to make that. You got to do this, do that. So, like I said, I don't really sleep on the weekends. And I'm trying to get better about it, though. I tell myself, no, you got to say no.
Yeah.
In the holidays, I'm a big holiday person. I love holidays. Mm-hmm. I love birthdays. I love any special occasion. I just be like, I got to put a smile on these people's faces. So I try my best to do it. But, yeah, with the work thing, okay, so I work 9 to 5. And I was at a different company. I'm in the same field. I work in insurance. I handle serious injury claims. So deaths and all this. I never thought I would be doing something like this, y'all, because I am the biggest crybaby ever, okay? I am very emotional. I am very empathetic. I feel what other people feel. So I never thought I would make it this far in the insurance claim business. Like I had, and this is a little bit off, but I remember about 2 years ago, I had a claim where my insured was at fault and they had basically killed someone. And the person that was in the car with them, their passenger, is now paraplegic. And I had to call my insured to get a statement from them. And he started crying on the phone. Y'all, I started crying too.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't be doing this. I can't be doing this. But I gave so much to that other company, where now, I mean, the company that I'm at is much better. But I tell myself now, like, I'm not gonna overwork myself for somebody else.
Right.
I just don't.
Right.
I may overwork myself for me, and I need to stop that too. But that's something I don't do. So if I don't feel good, I ain't going. Well, I don't have to go to. I work from home, but you know what I'm saying. Like if I don't feel good to a certain point, I'm not gonna make myself work.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to sit down. See, my thing is too. Is like, okay. So the reason why I think I'm a workaholic like this too is because growing up I've been promised a lot of stuff, right? And it never happened.
Oh,
and
I can relate.
and then it got to a point where it's like, bro, if you don't work for it, you just ain't gonna get it. Because these people that's telling you that's gonna do it for you, moms, dads, grandparents, everybody say I'm gonna get this for, I'm gonna do this for you, and they don't. And you get so much of that, it's like really getting beat down.
Oh yeah.
So then that's how I got to how I am now, because it's like, if you want this, bro, you gotta work. You gotta work and go get it. And it's at all costs. Like, yeah, you're gonna be tired. It's gonna be some nights that you're gonna work instead of day, you can't walk, you ain't getting enough sleep. You might take your emotion out on somebody because they want your attention. It's like, bro, I ain't got like you just, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to accomplish something, but it's like, damn. And that's when I was like, when I was talking about social media, it's like, because you see all these people like having so much fun. And it's like, and some of it be fake, but it's like, it's just the idea like, damn, they having so much fun. It look like they ain't putting no effort in and doing the stuff. And I'm over here killing myself. And they ain't got shit going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it almost makes you feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
And so it's that's
a major thing, because
that's when anxiety kicks in.
Depression, anxiety, and like the rate of suicide increased so much over the past couple years.
And that's when it goes back to we're talking about mental health.
Yes,
because that kind of stuff, when you see other people got all the stuff going on, vacations, or they buying new cars and new watches, whatever it is that you might be into, and you see that person doing this, like, damn, what am I doing wrong?
Right, because I ain't gonna. Sometimes now, when I do see, like, because I feel like I am at a good place in life where I am really ready for like a serious relationship. Sometimes when I see certain, I be like, man, what is it? But it's just really, it's not my time. You know, you just have to really take that in and realize it's just not your time. I'm not that person that's gonna take it to the extent of like, yeah, it got to be something wrong with me, because ain't nothing wrong with me.
Did you grow up in a family that's real close?
So the way I grew up, it was broken.
Okay.
So my grandmother raised me and my sister. We would see my mom and dad sometimes. My dad, he got married when I was like 9. My mom, she was living her life. We'll put it that way. She was living her life. So I didn't see, much of like really healthy like relationships, but I felt like I was the most loved person in the world by my grandmother. She made me feel really, really important and really special. And when she died, I would say that's when real life kicked in. When she died, I had to accept rejection on a whole nother level. And I'm just be honest, like I told people when I first started this, my truth is my truth, okay? So my dad and his wife, I remember them saying, no, they can't stay with us. I remember aunts and uncles saying, no, they can't stay with us. So I had to learn how to deal with rejection early on. And then we went to stay with someone. It was still considered foster care, but we didn't know this person. Was nothing like before, or whatever. So I really felt like, people think I be over exaggerating, but people that were around during that time, they know I'm not. I really felt like Cinderella or something. Like we were confined to going to school, taking care of everything in the house, not being able to really live a teenage life. So during that time, I really did not see. I didn't feel love. I didn't really see love. You know, so it came a time where I really kind of lost a little hope in it. But that's when I got older, like I really became like an adult. I was like, okay, no, I gotta unlearn this stuff that I seen. I gotta go back to my roots, and I gotta heal.
Right.
So that's something that I'm constantly working on it still, because sometimes I find myself going back to like,
I'm not a good enough type thing.
yeah, like I have definitely I
Not
dealt with
doing
that, especially last year. I would say last year, like I said, probably the biggest revelation I ever had in my whole life. One of the hardest years of my life.
Right.
It wasn't like an official relationship, but I
Right.
was talking to somebody, you know, we say talking or whatever. And it was this like thing that kind of went off and on for a couple years.
Right.
And I felt like things were going in a certain direction. And I got slapped in the face so hard last year. This person got married.
I used to be that guy.
And then tell me to after the fact, like, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, like what's wrong with me? You know?
I used to be that guy that I was blame myself for, like, I got a lot. All right, so what's funny is that, so I didn't grow up as that, like I was Wood family, but I wasn't as close. So I pretty much kind of grew up on like survival really versus love.
Yeah.
That was my thing, and it's like it was kind of like
And it's hard to go from one to the other.
it's kind of like tough love, and you got to learn the stuff. And then I watch people how they grow up, and you got all these women that feel like they need to get married and have family, stuff like that, and it's because they grew up in a close family household. And that's something I pay attention to as well. I'm real detailed.
Oh yeah, you have to pay attention to that. You have to.
So like, and I think for me, I know that I used to blame myself a lot for like relationships that didn't work. When they didn't work, I was like, damn, what I did wrong.
Right.
I was like, maybe if I would have told her this at this time, this could have been that. Maybe if I would have said this at this time, this would have been that. Or that thing she asked for last week, if I would have did that, maybe I would have made this. Like,
Yes.
and it got to a point, it's like, you know what? You ain't did nothing wrong. Like, just stop. Just like, what are you doing? Just stop. Like, it just wasn't for you, and that's so you got to be okay with that.
And that's something I had to learn too. But I really appreciate you
always came
saying
back.
that though,
And they
because
always
there's
came
so
back.
many men that won't say that. They usually just like that's a whole like a woman thing, but I know it's a man thing too. Like it's a human thing.
I'm very
to
self-aware
think
when it
that.
comes to that. If I know it's my fault, I'm like, oh, you fucked this up, big dog. That's you.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with.
Because
like,
sometimes we all make mistakes. Sometimes we all do.
accountability, I'm okay with all
yeah,
that.
you have to hold yourself accountable. Because I catch myself sometimes now still, where I am selfish. Sometimes
But you have to be sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. But sometimes I don't have to be. And I just be like,
I know.
ooh, let me chill. Let me apologize. You know, like, let me be a little more sensitive.
I can feel
to the
myself
situation.
going to that point at some time, like, what? And then it's like, nah, just stop. You ain't got to do that.
Right,
Like,
because sometimes, like, I ain't gonna that pride thing. It kind of take over. Sometimes I be like, I ain't gonna take this shit. You know, like I ain't gotta deal with it.
hey, let me take this in.
Right? Do you know who you're talking to? Like,
I already know.
so yeah, so you have to reel yourself back in with that. But transitioning from an environment filled with love to going to survival, that was tough. It was real tough. And then having to go back from survival to love, because I love love. Like I am like that person that's gonna watch the most sappy movie.
I really just started accepting that.
I love sappy movies. Okay, like my favorite movie of all time is A Walk to Remember.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
If I did, maybe once.
So it's based on a book by Nicholas Sparks.
Okay.
You know, most people love The Notebook.
Yeah.
Honestly, The Notebook is not one of my favorites.
Okay.
I'll watch it, but it ain't nothing that I'll just be like, yeah, let me put The Notebook on. I don't do that. But A Walk to Remember, that's my movie. I love it. And I love P.S. I Love You. You ever seen that before?
Yep.
That is one of my favorites. And just a little tangent on that. So We have my grandmother when I was younger, she actually used to work for this couple, and she was a nanny for them, and they kind of took to me and my sister because they didn't have any daughters.
Right.
They only had a son, so they would do certain stuff for us, and they stayed in contact with us even after my grandmother passed. So certain things like big things, they showed up and they made sure we had certain stuff
Right.
or whatever, and even as an adult or whatever. So, but anyways, we call them our godparents, and my godmother, she passed away last year. And she kind of did the P.S. I love you thing. She left behind like letters and different things and stuff. Like the day of her memorial, we each had a letter addressed.
That sounds so emotional.
When I tell
Listen,
you, like,
oh man, I'm about to cry. That's
look, I'm
bruh.
trying to keep it down now because
golly.
Christmas is one of her favorite holidays, and it has been hard not having her here, and not because she always gave the best Christmas cards. Like she really went overboard when it came to the holidays. I'm talking about Easter, Halloween, all that. I just stopped getting an Easter basket probably when I was like 28,
Man.
but that kind of helped me to be like, okay, this type of love, it does exist. With those type of things, with seeing things that she did and other people.
Yeah.
So that helped me to get back into like, okay, let me heal so I can fully just abide in love.
Yeah, I think when my granddad died, that's what made me more emotional. Listen, when my granddad died, I had never had anything to hit me that hard. I'm talking like
Death is hard.
bruh. Like, no, I've been to a lot of funerals, but that one took me out. And ever since then, like small stuff like in movies, I start getting emotional. I was like, bro, who are you, bro? What is this? We don't do this. This is not what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be watching a regular movie and they have like a sad scene. Like, normally you watch a sad scene, it's like, all right, cool, another sad scene.
Right.
And then this one pop up, it's like, bro. And it's like, dude, you are emotional. Like, what is wrong? And then,
But
like,
that's a good thing because
it is,
I
but
know for men, y'all are taught early on not to really
we got
deal with emotions.
but we got to unlearn that too,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
got to unlearn that part too, though. And that's when now a lot of guys now need therapists because of that kind of
They
stuff.
do.
Like because thing is, as far as guys go, we all like to be like, tough guy, manly. We grew up learning like, hey, if you fall, don't cry. Like this situation happened, you handle, like, you know what I mean? So like, and it's never nobody to talk to, like, and you feel these emotions, but it's like, they don't want to talk about it. But you have to find the people that's on the same level that you had this conversation with that has no judgment outside of that. Because then you had your homeboys, you had these people you talk to, and then you tell them this stuff coming out of the raw emotion. And like, oh man, you need to toughen up. Oh man, you soft.
Right.
Like, you just need, man, fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It's like, you know what I mean? And that's how we grew up. And it's like, what? That's not what I need. Like, and you know that because after that conversation, you might be influenced with like, yeah, you're right, but dog. But when you get in that car and everything get back real, it's like, I really didn't need to hear that. Like, I needed something else. And so that's why, like I said, we just got to be, for men, we just got to unlearn a lot of stuff. And it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to have these. But I think for men too, like, it's just having that person that listens, but also actually understands it.
Yeah.
And not be that person like friends nowadays, it's going to be all right. Like, we're going to get past this.
Yeah.
You're going to be good, girl. Keep doing your thing. Like, no, that's not what I need.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate you saying that, but
and that's just like, when somebody dies, somebody passes away, I absolutely hate when people say this to other people, like, I know how you feel, or it's gonna be okay, it's gonna get better, it's gonna be, you don't say those words.
And I conversate different with people with that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, you have to.
Like, one of my homegirls is going through some crazy times right now, which I understand it. So instead of me texting her saying it's gonna be all right, you gonna pull through this, I just gave her a whole spiel, like, how I know how you feel, but I'm not gonna tell you like I know how you feel. So I just get into like deep details so she have a true understanding of what's going on, so she appreciate it more. So that way, if she need to reach out, I say, hey, big dog, I'm right here.
Because it's different for everybody, like,
Especially coming from a male, because like you're not expecting the male to tell you like, I'm gonna be here for you no matter what, or
yes, you don't.
If you really want to talk, like, I'm here and I'm here to listen. I won't tell you like, oh, you need to do this or that.
Because
like,
it's hard sometimes as a woman, especially when you you're kind of attractive. It's hard to have genuine male friends that actually care about you. They don't want, anything
Yeah.
sexual with you or anything like that. It's hard. And it's hard to really just kind of accept it from like a man sometimes. I can count on one hand how many genuine male friends I have, and not even use my whole hand because most of them they cross those lines, and
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, now our friendship kind of messed up. And
I surprised a lot of
then
females that way. They're like, oh, you don't want nothing from me? Like, nah.
yeah, and a lot of men don't know how to take rejection either. So like there are
love
some that I have been friends with for a very long time, but when I reject them, they don't want to be my friend no more. Like I don't hear they ain't not my friend no more.
I welcome rejection. Let me say something. I don't know what it is about rejection. It's just like maybe when I got rejected, maybe it was a good thing. And
Yeah.
I mean, like it could have been. Well, it could be several things. It could be one, the person that I'm trying to talk to, maybe they just got finished a breakup, or or maybe they just had a bad day and didn't want to talk to somebody. Or on my end, maybe they crazy as hell and it's a good thing. They said nah. You know what I mean? Because 2 days ago, this bitch was knocking down nigga windows. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I had those chicks too. So it's like the rejection side doesn't bother me at all. Like, and then what happens is to them females that's used to getting all this attention, and then I don't pay them attention, then they come to me. It's like, oh, you ain't paying me no attention. Like, you don't want no. And I love it that way because it's like they expect me to talk to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you good, big dog?
It's definitely an ego thing sometimes too. But
Are you okay with coming up to a guy and talking to him? Because there are women right now that feels like a guy has to come to them, like they have
Okay,
to.
so
And I'm like, bro, how you say you want to be with this person or want to get to know him, but you don't want to take the initiative to try to talk to him either?
if you can ask my friends, I'm okay with shooting my shot. Okay,
Shoot
I'm
it.
okay with shooting my shot. I've done it before, even before like when I was kind of shy, like I might not have came like right up to that person and said anything. I might inbox you if you're my friend on social media. If you hadn't said anything to me, I'm gonna say something to you. If I'm interested, I'm gonna show that I'm interested. So I don't have a problem now. Like I'm even more confident now because that's something I had to learn over the years too. Just be really confident within myself. But I'm even more confident now, and I will come to you. Like if it's somebody that I'm interested in, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna say something.
Another thing is too, and I just posted this on I think just on Facebook. I think I might have posted it, but it's like some people say, for as me goes, they say that I look intimidating sometimes, or like
I commented on that post.
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Show that. But it's like it's kind of like, hey, I want to talk to you, but I didn't really know how to come at you because you just look like you just don't want to talk to nobody, or it's like you got this demeanor of like I got my shit together type thing, and maybe I don't, and I just don't want to involve myself with like so people. Come with an image of like this thing of like how they feel that you are as a person. And I'm like, girl, I'm the total opposite.
They do. People definitely do. I get that a lot too. From certain men, they be like, "Yeah, I didn't know how to approach you. I didn't, know how to do this or say this." And I'm just like, or they be like, "I thought you were really stuck up and all this." I'm gonna claim I am bougie. I am very bougie, but I am not stuck up.
Yeah,
I'm not. I am one of the most down to earth people ever. Like I'm very silly. I don't care how corny something is. I'm probably gonna laugh at it because it's funny to me. I am very silly.
I find
open.
humor in everything.
You have to. I feel like humor keeps life going. It makes it a little more worthwhile.
Yeah, and that's another hard thing to find. It's hard to find a lady that has a sense of humor, like a real one.
Oh, I know. Cause some of my friends, I be like,
they be so like, they be like, I'm that. Like they be like, I'm that bit type person all the time. I'm like, this shit is exhausting.
Yeah, I'm not.
No jokes, no nuts. Like, bro, do you know how to have fun?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that part is, and that's how it ends with me. Like, you don't reach out to me, you don't talk to me, no. Yeah, I know because this is horrible. Like, you have no personality outside of trying to make people laugh on social, but you have nothing.
Yes, and you
Zero.
have to. I feel people need to, whatever you're trying to portray on social media, you need to make sure you're backing it up as a person. Many people
just
post,
being authentic.
They're not authentic, but they will post all these great things on social media of this person that they want to be, but they're not that person. Me, I'm the same person on social media that I'm off of it. That's just how I am. Like, I appreciate people to be genuine with me, so I'd rather be genuine with them. And like I said, I'm gonna have fun. I can go somewhere and it's boring as I know. It could be 10 people there. I'm gonna have fun.
Yep.
I'm gonna have fun regardless. Like, if I say something boring, y'all, it's really boring. If I say something boring, because I make the best out of anything, and that's also something that just kind of comes from how you're raised in childhood. When you don't get what you expect, so you just make the best out of it. You know. But back to the whole traveling thing. So I'm just gonna kind of ask you just a few more questions, and that's kind of
you good. Yeah.
So, what is like your number one place that you want to visit?
Ooh.
Out of country. I'm gonna say out of country.
Okay. So I always want to go to Singapore.
Okay.
But the thing is, all right. The thing is about these out of country flights, right? I can't handle a plane outside of like 3-4 hours.
Me
and
too.
you talking like a day and a half probably with Singapore, and I'm out.
I feel you on that. Like,
because I feel like it's too much time to crash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
how I feel.
It's too much water. It's too much water.
It's too much time to crash.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
You think about it. Like, you're pretty much just going to be over water that whole time. And I tell people all the time, like, I have never been on a cruise before. I'll get on a plane really, in a heartbeat.
I've never been on a cruise.
But I have never been on a cruise because I'm scared. I am scared to get on a cruise because of the water. I went to...
You start thinking about Titanic.
Yes, that. So I went to Jamaica last year. Over the summer, and my sister and them, they had a field day with it, but I am just not a fan of being in big, like a large body of water, and I can't see land. So we were gonna go snorkeling. And they said, they was like, oh, we're just gonna be like on the at the resort on the side, shallow water. Okay, cool, I can do shallow. But when I put my water, put my face in the water, y'all, I seen all kind of creatures, and I just kind of freaked out.
Yeah.
Then they were like trying to get me to go further and further out in the water, and I was just like, I can't do that.
You gotta go swim. Listen, you gotta go swim with dolphins.
I know. I want to do that. And
it's the most fun but scariest thing in the world.
It looks fun. I don't know. Maybe one day I will. I've been trying. So I made a list. When I turned 30, I made this list of 30 things to do in my 30s. And I have different things on there to check off of stuff that I'm scared of doing.
That sounds like I used to have a high school routine. Come through high school, I felt like, which guys, I will tell you this right now. If you listen to when I say this, don't be like me on this part. But this will cause depression and anxiety. When you start listing stuff on what you should have based on a certain age.
Oh, yeah.
That right there will lead is the quickest way to depression.
It really is, because back then, let me tell it, 18-year-old Brittany, by 25, I was supposed to be married in a house, have 2 kids, have this really elaborate career, all kind of things. That none of that happened.
Listen, that's the quickest way to depression. So please don't be that person.
Yes. We mess ourselves up with putting ourselves on a time clock.
Yes. And
that's something that, but it for me also, it came from the pressure of family. So holidays, and that's why, like, I know we were talking about Christmas a little bit before we kind of start recording. I was like, I really don't want to go nowhere. I want to be at home, because y'all, I get tired of the questions when it comes to holidays. Like,
who you bringing? Yeah,
who you bringing? Where your man at? You ain't brought nobody around the family in so many years.
Man, holidays bring out the emotional side of everybody.
Right. And then they be like, well, when are you going to have kids? And I'm just like, first of all, y'all don't even know, like, why I don't have a child. Stuff like that. Like, they don't care. They just ask stuff. And
I know my people waiting on, so they're like, boy, when you going to have a kid? Yeah, we're going to wait on that one. And
my mama is the main one. Like, every time she'd be like, you need to have a child before I get real old. And I'm like, are you really going to babysit? Because my mama crazy. She cool for the most part, but she have her moments. Well, she be tripping. So I'm just like, okay, what if I have a child right now? Like, what if I got a vacation or something planned and you trip on me? No, ma'am.
I had my moments
I'm
where
gonna enjoy my life right now.
yeah, I had my moments when I had like too much downtime, and I start. And then that's when I be out and I see all these people out with they little babies and stuff. Right, I'm like,
Right.
big dog, and I get caught up sometimes. Like, it's time. And then and that part. Then when I get home, it's like, oh, it's back to reality. You don't need this. Like, but it was for that moment, like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, this would be good.
would say
It's
the-
like, nah, we good.
The quickest way of a wake up call for me is when I get my nieces and nephews.
I heard a bad hard time with this big dog at the house. I'm like, bro, you enough. This is it.
A couple weekends ago, we had a full house. Me and my sister, because me and my sister are roommates. We had my twin nephews. They are 3. We had my 9-year-old niece. We had my 5-year-old niece, and we have an 11-year-old sister. My dad still had babies, so all of them there. And when I tell you, we both were just like, yeah, we thought we wanted to have a child. Sometimes, nah. Just to think about the responsibility of like, I know for me, most of the time, I don't eat sometimes on schedule and stuff like that. But we had to make sure we had meals ready for them, snacks. You had to make sure they were entertained. They had something to do. Stuff to play with. Make sure nobody's hurting somebody, because I'm gonna say the twins.
I already know. I got a lot of nieces and nephews,
child.
and the best part about nieces and nephews is I give them back.
Yes, you give them back.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie. I be ready
And
to give them back. I be like,
my niece and nephew back home. Woo.
And they never want to leave though. They never.
It ain't that.
Any child
These
that
are
comes
like
over, they never want to leave.
these are like real life baby kids.
Yes.
I'm talking about.
I was locked out of
jumping
my
off the roof.
room. I was locked out of my room. That the
I used to be
when
a
we
baby
kept them.
kid. I used to be a baby kid when I was bad as hell.
I was not bad. I was a very sweet child.
Now
I'm not gonna say I didn't do stuff, because I did, but I was not a baby's kid.
I was horrible.
I wasn't. Now, I would say the worst thing I did as a child was like smoking paper and stuff like that.
Oh, we all did that. We did that.
Stuff
We
like
smoked
that.
chalk, all type of stuff.
All kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Or like, they tell me to go,
I know
hey,
somebody like,
go throw this beer away. Okay, and I'm gonna drink a little bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's about the worst that I think I did. But that traveling to me is kind of like a major thing on my list right now. So that's another reason why I was just like, yeah, you are not ready to have a child just yet, because I want to be able to go when I want to go. I don't want to have to make plans for somebody else. But there are so many people I know, like, just around my age, like, I'm just like, y'all haven't been here, y'all gotta start living. It is so like,
But you got a lot of people that just scared to leave the state itself.
Yes. My first out of country trip was to Cancun, and I was scared. I was like, what am I? What should I really expect going out of the country? But it was an amazing experience, and just to see other people live like in their culture and everything, it was just amazing. And Jamaica was amazing. Jamaica was the best, I would say. Like, I really felt like, I feel like as an African American, we of course have a disconnect when it comes to just knowing our true roots and stuff like that. And it really it amazed me, and it warmed my heart to see how connected these people were in Jamaica to their roots. It was amazing. I went to Aruba this past summer. It was cool to see. It was a mix of people. I don't know what I really expected, but it wasn't like,
you always expect this one thing when you start seeing picture and videos, and then when you actually there, it's kind of like, what happened to this thing that was in this picture though?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
So last thing I'm going to ask you, since, of course, the podcast, I have Tea with B. I am big on tea. I love tea. I drink tea throughout the day a lot. I also drink, of course, alcohol beverages. We have a little Bel Air.
Got a little Bel Air?
It's a rosé.
Hey.
But what is your favorite tea?
Honestly, I am not a big tea person.
What?
This year, my first time drinking tea was when I got sick, like a few weeks ago.
What kind of tea did you have?
I don't even know. Maybe like some type of, I don't know what it was, some green tea, something. It was real simple.
Well, green tea is very
I just never been.
popular.
I'm not big on tea. I'm not big on coffee. Like those two things I might have realistically maybe once or twice a year.
Oh, that's great. That's really good because I definitely go get me some iced coffee.
Yeah, like
I don't get it as much as I used to. Like when I used to have to like actually drive to work, I think I consume way more. Now that I don't have to drive to work, I don't really drink it like that. I may have an iced coffee maybe once a month.
Yeah. Even when somebody send me like a run every once in a while, like to Starbucks, I don't know what the hell to order. Like, and then Starbucks got some real made up names. Like I heard a lady say some, and I was like, what? I said, what the hell is that? I said, nah. I just want a coffee. They're like, what kind? I said, a coffee, like just a coffee.
I mean, you got to tell them the
Listen,
size. You want tall, grande. You want
listen. It's so much stuff. I was
you want like a latte. You want a frappuccino, frappe. You know, you got to.
some of the stuff I gotta look up on Google to see what it is, because like one, I probably can't spell it, and then I was like, you know what? Nah, just give me whatever this is. Not whipped cream and all that stuff. Just give me the coffee. And they're like, oh, okay. And then when they bring it out, it looks so simple, and everybody looking at me like I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, because
like,
why you came here? You can make that at home.
Yeah, exactly. It's like now I'm an outcast.
Yeah, definitely. I love tea. Like my favorite teas are ones that are fused with fruits. And I love anything that just kind of like the whole thing about like drinking certain teas like with lavender and things like that, or even like ginger, lemon, peppermint stuff, and peach. It's very calming. It really does relax you.
My granddad used to make a tea when we used to get sick. I don't know what he made of. It was nasty, but I don't know what he made out of. But this thing guarantee you'll feel better the same day. I don't know what he had in that
He
thing.
probably made a hot toddy.
Bro, no, this man, like, so my grandparents had like a garden. He'll go in there, he'll pick certain leaves, certain vegetables, he'll mix it in with something, I don't know what it is, and it tastes like absolutely nothing. And it's like, bro, I don't want this. This is nasty. And it's like, just drink a little bit, you're gonna be good. And kid you not, when it took a couple hours, I'm like, oh, we Gucci now. We back.
That's
we back.
good. I had a bad experience the first time I made a hot toddy myself. I think I put too much alcohol. I was knocked out for the next day, but I felt better.
Oh, listen, you ever did listen, this shit funny. You ever did a whole like a big thing of like Theraflu? No. I was litty. Listen.
No, I have not.
Listen, yeah, I don't recommend it, but if you're gonna drink a bunch of Theraflu at one time, I promise you're gonna think you've been on some. Like,
I'm sure you will.
Like shot after shot. Listen, I was lit. Like I thought I was on some edibles.
NyQuil be having me out of my mind. So no, I'm definitely not gonna do that.
Boy, listen, I was so drunk, man.
Yeah, medicine will make you like medicine like Theraflu, NyQuil, and stuff like that.
That might have been better. That might have been
drunk.
better than the edible that time, boy. That Theraflu.
Better than the edible?
That Theraflu. Listen, 2 packs of that. Oh, listen, you Stevie Wonder.
Oh,
I'm talking about.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
I'm talking you bobbing the head and everything. Right? Like, I'm telling you, we making music for real.
But I really enjoyed you coming on.
I appreciate it.
Today.
This is fun.
I try to make it a little fun, try to throw in some little questions and things and stuff. But I really appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
And just tell everybody one more time about your event that's coming up.
All right, so there's 2 more. Well, there's one more event for this year. There's another Inspired Wind Down Wednesday, which is December 28th at Delta 8 Cigar Lounge in Warner Robins. We're gonna have some poets, songwriters. We got my man DJ AP on the tracks, cigars, wines for all over, and the wine is free. You can drink all you want.
Yeah, I had like 10 last time I went.
Yeah, I'm talking about you getting real wine drunk, as the Romans would say back in the day.
Yeah.
And then we have a really big cigar event, January the 7th at Serenity. That is called Clash of the Titans, because so outside of Inspired, there's another entrepreneur and also business guy named Chan. They do something similar where they throw a lot of cigar events, and this is the first time we collab on an event, and they've been going for years, and we've probably been doing this probably about maybe 2 or 3 years, And so this is kind of like, a lot of people feel like this is kind of like a new school versus old school thing. So they hyping it up for that. So it's gonna be lit because it does kind of feel that way because like his demographic and mine is totally different.
Yeah.
But they all come to our events, like the different people and different ages come to the event, so they try to get that experience. So this is gonna be a good one. I can't wait for this one.
I can't wait to come.
It's gonna be a good one.
And I may possibly be a poet for it.
Maybe
a poet for it. I have not like recited my poetry like in front of like a live audience in a minute.
I talked to a lot of people that haven't. They want to do it, but they haven't had a chance. And that's one thing why I built a platform for that for those people that haven't had, like people that do it but haven't had a chance to say in front of people. And so I had a lot of people that reached out and appreciated it because it's like, bro, I thank you for letting me do this definitely. Because it's like I've been wanting to have a chance just to see what I got in front of people.
Platforms here locally.
Yeah,
for
so
that.
like, and I was appreciative for them, reaching out like that. So it's like I'm happy that I could help, and I'm happy that it was able to help me to, perform it, so we could do the event. So
and with like, especially like when COVID and stuff hit, so I missed it. I missed being in front of people and being able to recite my poetry. So what I would do sometimes as well, when I talked about how I started the whole Transparent Thursdays things, which y'all. My shit took off. It was trending. Okay, I had other people following what I did, and I love it. So many people. I kind of started that whole hashtag of Transparent Thursdays, and then I seen people picking it up. I was like, okay, I like that. But I would sometimes just talking about like personal stuff, or I would actually recite one of my poems. I would read one of my poems off, and people loved it, and I loved it. So that kind of helped give me.
I just thought of something too. Maybe since you do talk poetry, and then you also do words of wisdom and affirmation, stuff like that, would it be cool though, like let's say with your baking you can also incorporate like a poem of yours into these packages when people start ordering too?
That is a good idea. I like that. I'm gonna work on that. I like that. I've never thought about that.
That's that creative side.
Yeah, creatives. I love creatives.
You know what I'm saying? We just building more awareness. That's all.
But I love that. Definitely love that. But thank y'all again so much for tuning in and joining Have Tea with B. We are recording at 1212 Studios. It's downtown Macon. Make sure y'all follow them as well on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I think they have on TikTok as well. 1212. Just look it up. You'll know it when you see it. They have so much going on here at this studio. And it's a really good atmosphere. Really good work ethics. Everybody works really hard, and they really have like just set out a platform for creatives. There are other people that record like their podcasts and things here, and have like concerts and live performances and things. Also, they also have a poetry event actually coming up as well this Friday. So it's free.
Where is it at? Here?
It's gonna be here. Yeah,
Friday.
On Friday.
Like tomorrow, Friday?
You know what? Tomorrow is Friday. I forgot tomorrow Friday. But yeah, it's tomorrow.
Every day, and listen, every day is Monday on this side.
Also, the days be moving so fast. They move so fast. But make sure if you haven't already followed me, Have Tea with B, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and just give me feedback, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about these videos, things you may want me to talk about that other people don't talk about. You may be a little scared. Just let me know. But thank you.
Absolutely.